You see there the Manchester United team. Lee Martin comes in. He is effectively responsible for the fact that United won the FA Cup and went to the Cup Winners' Cup. Bruce captains in the absence of Brian Robson. Into comes Kanchelskis, and Paul Ince, who came on as substitute on Saturday, well, he comes in too. And the substitutes there, you see, included in that Ryan Giggs, who drops out to make way for Kanchelskis.
United, who are currently second in the Football League, started so well, of course, and recently been overhauled by Leeds, but still very much up for the titles. We watched Andre Kanchelskis there, brought in for Ryan Giggs tonight. Giggs, the 17-year-old, and there is the Red Star Belgrade side. As Mark was telling you, 6 of these players played in the European Cup final last year, including Darko Panchev at number 9, 35 goals last season, and he is a man that United are going to have to watch very, very closely indeed. And Sasijevic, Mark, too, is going to have a big impact, I think, there, number 10, and also Stosic, as you said, at number 7, the real playmaker. And if they come at United early, it'll be interesting to see whether United respond well to that.
Yes, and one interesting thing perhaps to watch out for, that they are susceptible to crosses, high balls into their box, a feature of their game, and let's hope that we can see Mark Hughes and Brian McClare making their presence felt. Tremendous honour for the Red Star Belgrade team to win the European Cup, the first opportunity and the first time that their country ever won the European Cup last year, the 18th name on that particular trophy. And they're certainly very proud of it, and despite whatever problems going on at home, they're determined to certainly put on an entertaining performance.
The referee there is Monsieur van der On from the Netherlands, and he has 2 Dutch linesmen to support him as well, Mr. Bakker and Mr. Van Wille, I think it's pronounced. Apologies for my Dutch, but you know who I mean. He's the gentleman with the yellow flag. So we appear to be just about ready to go then. Number 9, of course, is Brian McClare on the ball for United, who are going to be kicking from left to right, attacking the goal away to our right in this first half. And Red Star in their all-white kit, United red shirts and black shorts. And we seem to be ready for the off in a game that United would love to win and get some more silverware to Old Trafford. Away we go then, and to take you through the early moments of this first half, here's Mark Rooney.
Well, an early touch there for United, defending the Stretford end and bidding to become the first English club since 1982 to win the European Super Cup. Aston Villa winning in that year. McClare. Chance for Webb to fire the cross in. And it almost causing problems there for Milojevic.
I think they're under instructions there, Mark, to test his keeper very early, and it couldn't be much earlier than that. The high ball floated in, and the keeper taking no chances at all. United corner.
Well, we did say the high ball could be the problem. They don't come much higher than that. Corner to United. It's short a chance, but away by Vasilevic. Still Webb. And an early foul on Kanchelskis. The offender, Nadowski. Fired in by Martin, but on the far side. Appeals for handball. And the referee points to the spot. Well, Trevor, did you think that was a penalty?
We won't see many more blatant penalties than that, Mark. The header back across the area, I think, was from Gary Pallister, and the defender, well, clearly stuck his arm up. You see it here, and that had to be a spot kick. So a great early chance for United then to open their account, Mark, and what a gift, really, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it'll open up the game. Let's see if Steve Bruce is the man who's going to take it. Knocks them in for fun ordinarily for Manchester United. And Milojevic tested for the second time in just the second minute. There can't be a better penalty taker in the country than Steve Bruce at the moment. And well, Milijevic read it well. Webb fires it in. A chance for Bruce. Kanchelskis with the cross.
That was super goalkeeping, Mark. First of all, the initial penalty save from Milijevic, and then again as Bruce came storming towards him for the cross, kept it out again. Wonderful goalkeeping, but United, great chance gone.
Yes, he read it well, and a chance for United goes begging, but they've still got the corner. Pallister goes in.
He's so dangerous, Mike, when he makes those runs. We saw him cause the penalty, completely unmarked at the back, that time near post, and again you see he's miles above his man and just couldn't direct the header low enough.
And I think, Trevor, that is where the danger will come from, and this man could be crucial to it. Mihailovic, the offender. And Webb in the thick of things early on. Martin's free kick. This time given the other way. Referee making it clear, Trevor, that he's going to be quite strict early on in this game.
I think he could have his work cut out too, Mark, because United have got so much height with Bruce and Pallister. Here's Brian McClare going forward.
Back to Webb. Just didn't quite make it. Blackmore. Martin. Early touches for Hughes. Webb. Irwin. To Bruce. Well, United using the width as Martin looks for the cross. And again, Trevor, as soon as the ball goes in, it seems to hit a red shirt.
It was Dennis Irwin actually, Mark, but it was lovely play from United. Nice little touch there from Brian McClare. Get the ball wide. And it's that early cross that's unsettling Red Star. We've seen one to the near post, one to the far post, and you just get the feeling it's a little bit vulnerable.
5 minutes gone. Manchester United 0, Red Star Belgrade 0, but United missing a penalty. Steve Bruce having his penalty saved in just the second minute. And that's the man who could be called the offender, but no, doubtless will make his contribution. Now Pallister. Good move as he goes round Tanjda. Finds McClare. Early crossing for Hughes. And that time Milijevic didn't get to it. And certainly Red Star Belgrade on the rack early on, Trevor.
They're showing us all the options. This time the ball played in low. Hughes going in and just a whisker away from deflecting it into the back of the net. Good goalkeeping again, though. He's really earning his money so far, this goalkeeper.
Yes, not the goalkeeper in the European final, but making his contribution now. As Vasiljevic with the ball for Belgrade. And we'll be hoping he doesn't get hold of the ball too many times during this match.
We might actually see the ball go into the Manchester United half for the first time here, Mark. There we are. I wonder how long it's going to stay there.
Lee Martin. In fact, Irwin and Martin originally down with other shirts, but let's see now as Savicevic tries to get the ball past. Away by Ince. Chance now for Kanchelskis, getting things moving. This is Webb. Still Webb. Final ball deserted here. Now a chance, but Gary Pallister quickly on it, and United putting every effort into this one and causing problems early on as now they come away with Savicevic, but the offside flag goes up. Well, a move from Red Star Belgrade, Trevor.
Yeah, it was offside, Mark, but just a little warning for United about the pace there of Darko Panchev. He got a couple of yards around the back of Steve Bruce, and although he was off, United should take note. They really have to mark this man extremely tightly. He's very, very dangerous, and if they're going to play on the break, as it appears they are, then I think they'll be looking to him to provide the real thrust of their counter-attacks.
Yes, and this man could be dangerous if he gets loose. Mihailovic, so far restrained. Jugovic with the free kick. Savicevic, the Red Star Belgrade skipper. And again, the offside flag goes up by the linesman on the far side. Chance for Hughes on the far side. Belgrade will give chase. Dennis Irwin to Webb. Lee Martin. Martin's persistence almost paying off there. It's only the third time this season that he's started a match, coming in for the injured Paul Parker. Savicevic. Ince wins the tackle. Irwin. Oh, dispossessed there. Stusic. A little bit too far there for Jugovic. Dennis Irwin gathers it. To Steve Bruce. To Ince. Came on as a substitute in the Manchester derby, which ended goalless on Saturday. And the man he substituted, Neil Webb. I think Webb's going to be the playmaker here, Trevor. He's causing one or two problems.
Yes, he's capable of getting balls into the box early, Mark, and I think that's what's going to unsettle Red Star. And also, he can play these delicate little 1-2s and touch stuff around the box. Here's a chance for United again.
Well, the ball meant for McClure. Chelsea doesn't get there, but Nadowski does. Savicevic. He's got Mihailovic with him, looking for Panchev. But Irwin's there first, and Bruce mops up. Panchev saying he was impeded there. I don't think most of the Manchester United crowd agreed with him. Neil Webb to Dennis Irwin. Back to Webb. Certainly marking tightly at the moment, and Webb, the playmaker, finding one or two opportunities scuppered before he looks up. Clayton Blackmore looking to cross it, fires it low, Hughes misses. But a shot comes in from Ince. And you get the impression, Trevor, that if they can get a couple of early goals, the United players might well enjoy themselves tonight.
Yeah, not a bad effort from Paul Ince, Mark, but I must confess, I think he really should be scoring more goals in general than he does. He got a few for West Ham, and since his transfer, I think he's only got 2 or 3 for United, and for a basically attacking-minded midfield player, I think Alex Ferguson will be expecting a few more than that from him.
Yes, and on a world stage, he'll obviously be anxious to impress. This is Pallister. To Steve Bruce. Webb once again. Brian McClure. Stusic. Back to Milojevic. Brian McClure suffering with a hamstring injury a couple of weeks ago, which kept him out of the Scottish international against San Marino. Would have liked to get on the score sheet there, but there'll be other opportunities for him. Bruce to Irwin. Stusic puts away for a throw. Dennis Irwin suffering from a back injury, doubtful for today's game, but eventually makes it. This is Ince to Blackmore. Back to Ince in space, but the tackle comes in from Belgrade, the only Romanian international in the Yugoslav side. Stusic tries to keep it in but fails. Blackmore to take the throw. To Hughes. Back to Blackmore, but put away for a corner by Nadowski.
Yeah, you see, as soon as the referee's arm went up for the corner, Pallister's made movements towards the edge of that box, and I wouldn't be surprised if either he or Steve Bruce are going to be the targets here, Mark.
Yes, we should see some enjoyable headed goals, hopefully, as Dennis Irwin will swing this corner in right-footed. Well, Milijevic came and didn't get it, but it's been mopped up. Savijevic. Mihailovic. Vasiljevic. And now a chance for Belgrade to break. This is Jugovic looking for the shot. Block comes in from Martin. And now McClure can do something for United. Looks for Hughes. Away by Nadolski. Nadolski actually a player that doesn't often venture out of his own half, a very solid defender, Trevor, and you get the impression that if United can't get that breakthrough, then perhaps some good strong defending could keep them out later on in the game.
Yeah, they've just played a couple of, well, useful-ish through balls, the Yugoslav side, and Nadolski, as you say, has already beaten Hughes in the air twice, so it's not going to be an easy evening for Sparky. And just here, you see, they're knocking it around and just beginning, I think, to get to grips with the Old Trafford atmosphere.
This is Savicevic. Mihailovic with him, looks to get the cross in, but I think a first touch almost for Peter Schmeichel. Peter Schmeichel originally not planned to be in this game because he was going to be one of the non-English players who would be ruled out, but the UEFA rule was relaxed and Peter Schmeichel can play. But certainly showing that if they can get the cross in there, Trevor, it could be dangerous.
Yes, and Darko Panchev showing why he scored 35 goals. His position with that cross, absolutely perfect. It didn't reach him that time, but he was hovering and lurking for just a sniff of a mistake, and if Schmeichel had mishandled, I'm sure he would have been on the spot. But so far, no goals, and United still well on top.
As Red Star Belgrade try to get forward. Jugovic. Oh, and such a close chance there for Panchev. Exactly what you were saying, Trevor. This man is dangerous.
Now, they left him here, Mark. He's 5 or 6 yards on his own at the back of the United box. Now, someone has got to pick him up. First time volley, well, it was a bit continental, wasn't it? But it was only a couple of yards wide, and they must learn their lesson. Otherwise, this man will punish them.
Gary Walsh is on the substitutes bench as a substitute for Schmeichel, should he be required. Martin. To Pallister. Hughes lays it off. Mihailovic for Belgrade. Kanchelskis with him. Creating some room now. This is Savicevic. Pallister tries it, misses. Chance for Panchev. Panchev! Good save. Well positioned by Schmeichel. Panchev making his presence felt again. This is Hughes. To Webb. Blackmore. To Lee Martin. Blocking tackle coming in from Mihailovic, but not enough. Kanchelskis gets the free kick, and this man's the offender, Belgrade. You're watching this live on Sportscast. Manchester United 0, Red Star Belgrade 0, just coming up to 17 minutes gone, and Steve Bruce missing a penalty in the second minute. Free kick to Manchester United, which Lee Martin will take. Ball comes back, in goes the shot, and Clayton Blackmore, who has produced some tremendous goals for Manchester United, that time over the target.
Yes, I think he saw that in the back of the net rather before he'd struck it. But it's a terrific game, isn't it, Mark? We've got end-to-end stuff. There's so much space in midfield because players are trying to get forward wide, and this really is, well, it's a joy to watch so far, isn't it?
Yes, and Blackmore, who can forget some of the goals he scored here at Old Trafford, and so too the fans. Kanchelskis. Webb outside him. The tackle comes in though from Vasiljevic, but Webb wings it back, fires it in. Still Webb. Martin. McClare. Dennis Irwin to Blackmore. And that'll be for Mihailovic. And United putting them on pressure under at the moment. Vasiljevic not getting that ball clear. But now a chance for Red Star as Pallister mops up.
I tell you what, Mark, none of these Red Star players should ever have a trial for Wimbledon, because they don't boot it out their own defence, do they? Trying to run it out from 5 or 6 yards must give their manager a heart attack there.
Yes, and all their fans too. Incidentally, their previous manager, Petrovic, who joined Espanyol this season, has just been sacked by them. Popovic, the current coach for Yugoslavia, but not the happiest of times. As Irwin goes forward, pulls it back to McClare, tries the shot, and Milijevic gathers it at the second attempt, but McClare, good shot there, good work from Irwin too.
That's where Brian McClare's at his most dangerous, turning inside the box. He's an excellent turner, super run here from Dennis Irwin, first time, and the keeper needed 2 goes at it.
Well, Milijevic earned his money, and so too does this man for Manchester United, Brian McClare. Just coming up to 20 minutes gone here. You're watching this live on Sportscast. Manchester United 0, Red Star Belgrade 0 in the European Super Cup. Steve Bruce missing a penalty after 2 minutes. This is Nadowski. Blackmore back to Schmeichel. Lee Martin. What a great day for him when United scored the goal that won the FA Cup. Scored it in the replay against Crystal Palace. Dennis Irwin to Steve Bruce. Captaining tonight in the absence of the suspended Brian Robson. Back to Dennis Irwin. Mark Hughes. Nice little tuck to it, to Ince. Back to Blackmore. The offside flag going up there against Clayton Blackmore. Blackmore for United sets them moving once again, and Lee Martin will go forward. Kanchelskis doesn't get past Vasiljevic. Still United have possession until Brian McClare gives the ball away. Savicevic fires it back, looking for it in the middle. But with Panchev and Savicevic there, Schmeichel gathers the ball.
That was Radinovic, the fullback, coming forward there, Mark. The first time we've seen him overlapping, and so obviously Red Star are a little bit more confident now. They've worried United 2 or 3 times, and I think they're going to be coming into the game more as this half progresses.
Mark Hughes for United. Belgrade in front of him. Hughes still tries to get it in. Will it come to McClare? It does. Almost gets it through to Webb. Well, we're at the midpoint in the first half here in the European Super Cup. Manchester United 0, Red Star Belgrade 0, and Steve Bruce with the best chance of the game, missing a penalty after 2 minutes. For commentary, up to half-time, Trevor Harris.
Thank you, Mark. Quite how we're still goalless, I'm not sure, because it's been end-to-end stuff. United just shading it, but Red Star showing in the last few minutes but they're quite capable of mounting the counter-attacks. And here they come again through the middle of that United defence. This is Jugovic, but showed too much of it there to Gary Pallister. They have one or two players other than Panchev and Stosic who are quite capable of taking men on and beating them, and United, who are pushing forward, pushing the fullbacks forward particularly, will just have to take care on the break. Here's a nice ball for Mark Hughes, always useful with his back to goal. Paul Ince now. Irwin takes over, room for the cross if he wants to. Ince, and he's given it away. This is Milanovic, and now the fullback takes over, Radinovic, and United backpedaling furiously, and that was an important interception as Panchev was lurking, far post. Gary Pallister in the right place, and just for the moment United trying to sort themselves out, but a chance to go forward here again, and a bad pass.
As this game goes on, Trevor, you do get the impression that the Yugoslavs are tightening up, and the number of opportunities of getting the through ball seem to be disappearing, but let's hope that United can remedy that one quickly as Belgrade come forward.
This is Jugovic. Oh, he's lovely skill till he got to the edge of the area, and I think Brain just one step ahead of feet there. Good spell though from Red Star. This is Jugovic again. Might try the right foot shot, well blocked by Steve Bruce. But they still can't clear it. And eventually tied it up by Dennis Irwin. United using both fullbacks in attacking mode this evening. Lee Martin down the right and Dennis Irwin down the left. But they're going to be careful they're not caught short when Red Star break. The Old Trafford crowd trying to get behind their team. So far, it's been very entertaining as Mark Hughes wins a free kick for United.
I think, Trevor, this man Mark Hughes could do with making a bit more of his presence felt at the moment. He's not having too much of the ball. He's being closed down very quickly.
Yes, he's having to survive on knock-ons and flicks, so that's really not his game. He needs to keep possession of the ball to turn or run at people and dart in and about the box, and so far, as you say, Mark, he's been very effectively policed by this Red Star side. It looks like, I think it's Jugovic, no it's not, I beg your pardon, it's Nadolski down there. Looks like the left knee, and perhaps we can see how it happened here, Mark.
Yes, Nadolski in with Hughes there, and Hughes just seems to catch him there. In fact, he might have caught that on the pitch as well. Nadolski, a very useful player, a very solid defender, and with Bela Dedic, what a formidable central partnership. But he's okay now.
So the magic sponge has done its work. Quite what that feels like on a freezing night in Manchester, I wouldn't like to find out, but he's back, and United have a free kick. Dennis Irwin will chip it in, but there's a bit of pushing, was there? I think it's going to have to be retaken, in fact. Perhaps the Red Star player was encroaching too close to the ball, 10 yards of course. He must be back, and Mr. Irwin can have another go. He's got Neil Webb there with him now. Two options. Kanchelskis is making a run, so was Bruce. That was a neat flick on, and it didn't quite fall for Bruce or for McClare. And in fact, there's been an infringement anyway, so it'll come to nothing for United, and we're still goalless. Coming up to 27 minutes played in this first half. European Super Cup. You're watching exclusively live on Sportscast, and so far it's been a terrific game.
Yes, the offside there actually, Trevor, where Pallister flicked on, I think Bruce was a couple of yards offside.
Well, Mark Hughes appeared to be bundled out the way there, but the referee says no, and a lovely piece of skill from Savijevic. And now the Yugoslavs can break again. Jugovic. And now Paul Ince. Kanchelskis hasn't really got round his man so far tonight, Kanchelskis. So much talent. There's a lot of space out wide here for Lee Martin. As Hughes makes the run, and that's a fair ball too. Now, can he get round his man this time? Well, the referee has given it United's way, and I must say that looked a little harsh against Nadolski. Like Hughes was doing the arm waving, but it's Martin with the free kick. Oh, it's a bad clearance. Shot from Neil Webb. Hughes. Here's Webb again. Does well, and again the goalkeeper needed to be secure on his near post.
Yes, appeals for handball there. It'd be interesting to see that one again. It did look suspiciously like it could be there. And the free kick goes in. The shot comes in from Webb now. Let's see if it did. It was pretty close.
I think I'll give him the benefit. Looked a bit chesty to me, that one, Mark. But they would certainly have taken it. But here's a chance for Panchev. Just lost possession at the vital moment, and some room for Andrei Kanchelskis down the right. But again, he found just one Red Star player too many. He's got a free kick. Just seemed to have lacked that yard of spring and of pace to get away from his man, Kanchelskis, and then do some real damage with some early crosses. Referee said Mark Hughes took a dive there. So no free kick.
It's interesting, Hughes beginning to make his presence felt a little bit more, and the other thing is the fact that Kanchelskis getting a bit more of the ball of late.
So Sevacevic just didn't quite run to Darko Panchev there, and now some space for Hughes. It's a good-looking ball. Clayton Blackmore. Brian McClare, I beg your pardon, but that's too high and too near the goalkeeper. McClare going out wide there as Clayton Blackmore cut inside, but United still can't find a way through. And Steve Bruce did well. It's actually unusual, Mark, to see a game where there's so much space in midfield. Normally it's 100-mile-an-hour stuff and there's not room to move.
The other thing is the commitment from both sides, absolutely solid. And if you look at United, you look at the amount of games and the tough games that they've had of late, they're doing extremely well, tackling hard. It's a very, very tight, close-knit game and promises some good football.
Now, can Lee Martin find the right cross? Well, it wasn't a bad one. Knocked away at the near post by Vasiljevic. Here's Kanchelskis. Nice turn. Oh, that's good play. And that's a good cross. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It was looking so good for United there. And the final header, or the attempted header from Clayton Blackmore, was Sunday Park stuff. But super play from Kanchelskis down the right-hand side. Still have the ball. Savijevic. It really is a live wire.
It illustrates the point that we've been saying all game so far, the high ball into the box causing them problems. That one and the Webb low cross a few moments before, the only two problems that really that Red Star Belgrade have had of late, and it's certainly causing them problems, and I'm sure they'll put one of these away.
Yeah, I think Clayton Blackmore would probably admit that heading is not his greatest skill, but certainly would have expected to do better than that on that occasion. Still, Kanchelskis. Plenty of running off the ball, but when the ball's played like that, any amount of running is rendered useless. Free kick to the Yugoslavs. I think Lee Martin's too amused by it. Former YTS apprentice, of course, here at Old Trafford. So I suppose power to the government's beliefs that it does work. Here's Jugovic. It's a nice ball inside. Stosic. There's little triangles, but it's broken down, has it? No. Although Paul Ince was a bit overzealous in the challenge, says the referee, and in fact gets a yellow card as well. Must just have talked back there to the referee, Mr. van der Elst, and that really is very, very silly, isn't it, Mark? And that's the kind of thing that Ince tends to do when it's going against him.
Well, it's a mixture really of obviously getting a yellow card, which United will do well without, but also the level of his commitment. And there's no doubt in whatever game Paul Ince ever plays in, he is 100%, and that can be very unnerving for the opposition.
So 12 minutes to half-time, and we're still goalless at Old Trafford. And just to tell you that if it should be level after 90 minutes, we will have 30 minutes extra time. And if it's still level after that, we'll have a penalty shootout.
Well, I think if it goes to penalties, my money's on Red Star Belgrade.
Yeah, of course, they do actually settle league games in Yugoslavia with penalties, so perhaps not surprising that they were able to beat Marseille on spot kicks a few months ago. Radinovic hemmed in a corner by Blackmore. Yeah, and will Steve Bruce take one for United, Mark?
I'm sure he will.
Clayton Blackmore now. Knocked away again by Nadolski as Kanchelski's closed in. That's lovely control from Neil Webb. That's a good ball for Hughes. And that's wonderful defending as well. I think it was Radinovic who made the tackle as Mark Hughes from 10-12 yards ball down on goal. And the defender, you can see it again here actually, Mark.
Well, once again it's Webb putting the through ball. I thought Webb might have had a shot there, but Hughes a bit disappointed, but some excellent defending. But a few years ago I think Neil Webb would have tried a shot from that sort of position.
And I think that is Radinovic who's looking in a bit of trouble there. The man who made that tackle, it really was the kind of tackle that saves games, because Hughes from that range doesn't normally mess around, and it looks again like a knee. Just have a look at it from a different angle. Super ball from Webb, perhaps should have hit it there, and he really was closed down quickly by Radinovic.
Yes, this man Radinovic, a very unlucky player really, missed the European Cup final through injury. And he'll just be hoping that this showpiece event that we're watching here is not an occasion for another injury. But he does look in some difficulty. But there seems no signs at the moment that he's going to go off.
Yes, he's been extremely impressive so far, not just in defence either. Made a couple of sorties upfield, down that right flank. Let's hope he's okay. Another crunching tackle from Neil Webb, but he lost out that time to Mihailovic. And some space here. Stosic has Irwin for company. Savicevic. Oh, that's lovely stuff. Radinovic showing his worth forward again. Chance for the left foot shot. And not too far wide of Peter Schmeichel's left-hand post. And further proof again there, Mark, that they really are useful on the break this side.
Yes, and they shoot well, low and hard, and well, it only takes it either to be on target or take a nick, and it's problems for Schmeichel.
Yes, Chris Woods knows all about deflections and things like that. That's hit towards Hughes, but Nadolski got there first, and Hughes fouled his man on the way back. And Nadolski so far has given Mark Hughes a most uncomfortable evening.
It'll be interesting, Trevor, to see what options Ferguson decides to put out on his subs bench, because he's got Ryan Giggs there, and Ryan Giggs played in the game against Atletico Madrid and really did nothing, seemed to be struggling on the European stage. It'll be interesting whether Giggs gets an opportunity to get some experience tonight.
Well, again, it's Neil Webb setting Kenchelskis away down the right-hand side, but a complete misunderstanding there with Lee Martin. But he's got another chance, as Neil Webb. Well, they're just not finding that final ball at the moment, United. They're seeing enough of it, though. Irwin. Now, I think that's offside against Mark Hughes. Yes, and also on the bench, Mark, he's got Mark Robbins, who's probably the forgotten man of Old Trafford. Burst on the scene last season and has hardly been heard of again since, and he's a real live wire up front as well. Well, Neil Webb wasn't happy with that, but it was obstruction. You can't hold the ball between your 2 feet like that for that length of time, because it prevents the other player making a fair tackle for the ball. So a good decision and a Red Star free kick quickly taken. And he really is very, very skillful, Jugovic. We've seen that a few times. He's been the playmaker so far in midfield for the Yugoslavs. That looked like obstruction, and it's been given against Lee Martin.
Well, this could well be dangerous for United, because we know what Red Star Belgrade can do at the free kick situation. It's an indirect free kick, but it could be very dangerous.
Yes, Savicevic, we've been told, is the free kick man. He's number 10. Five in the United wall, and the wall did enough. In fact, it was Mihailovic's shot, I think. And it's all getting just a little bit scrappy now. A few little late challenges going in. Number 11 is Mihailovic. So just 5 minutes to half-time. Still goalless. And Mihailovic will curl in this free kick. And that's a lovely effort. And it wasn't more than 2 feet wide, was it, from Darko Panchev? He really is so dangerous at the near post, Mark.
Yes, and getting to there quickly, and no mean feat against the Manchester United defence. Mihailovic firing that one in, a nice little flick. And just about a foot wide of the post.
Well, no doubt there that Peter Schmeichel wouldn't have sniffed it. Left completely flat-footed. And United a little lucky to be level still. Just nipped away from Dennis Irwin by Radinovic, who's had a sterling game at right back. United have a throw. Now some space for Neil Webb. On the volley. Well, he likes a spectacular, does Neil Webb. And that would have been one of the goals of the season.
Yes, Neil Webb getting a lot of the ball at that stage, and opting in the pass for the through ball, but deciding to go it alone there, and looking like, you know, one or two of those could quite easily go in.
Yes, it's something that the coaches would have loved, wouldn't it? On the chest, and as the ball drops on the volley, hitting it with the right foot. But here's a break on now for the Yugoslavs. Savicevic runs at the defence, and still, and that is off the line by Gary Pallister, and Savicevic must have beaten 4 or 5 United players deep into that box and just couldn't get enough power in it and allow Pallister to knock it off the line.
Well, it's no mean feat for Steve Bruce to be beaten in this way, and this man, the Red Star captain, Savicevic, always a problem and a real powerhouse in midfield, and beginning to make his presence felt whenever Red Star Belgrade go forward.
Yes, we've got a clash of styles here. United, I think, will look for height, and the skill will come from the Yugoslavs, the skill and the pace, as it's chipped forward there by Belgrade, but that's easy this time for Peter Schmeichel. Now that's a good throw, looking for Mark Hughes, and again it's Nadolski who got the challenge in, but only at the expense of a corner this time, and a chance right on half-time. We've got about a couple of minutes to go for United perhaps to grab something here. Steve Bruce having missed a penalty after just 2 minutes, if you've just joined us. And since then, the Yugoslavs have fought back well. No goals, as Irwin will bend in this corner. It's towards Bruce, who won it well. Hughes looked for the spectacular, but again with no real conviction. And there could be a break on here. Panchev's gone charging through the middle. And if he's seen, and he is seen now, Darko Panchev and his control let him down. And off the line brilliantly by Blackmore after Panchev had won the header. Tremendous excitement. Really, he'll be thinking he should have scored, Mark.
Well, Savicevic, a superb through ball there to Panchev. You'd put money on him to score. Schmeichel out well. And then Blackmore coming in there and doing what a good defender always could do competently. And Blackmore is a good defender.
Yes, an excellent goal line clearance. And Panchev showing that in the air as well, as he jumped with Paul Ince, he's useful. But they have a corner. And Schmeichel, at the second attempt, claims. It's been end-to-end stuff between Manchester United, the European Cup winners, or the European Cup winners, of course, and Red Star Belgrade, the European champions. United coming forward again. Paul Ince, who's been fairly quiet for the last 20 minutes or so. Irwin looked for the long ball, and McClare's dummy didn't come off. Now Paul Ince. That's too high.
Well, Manchester United clearly aiming to shoot on sight at the moment, and Ince, as you say, a good shot really, and plenty of room there. Would have expected to a lot better than that.
Yes, the tragedy of it is when you see Red Star play like this, you wonder why on earth they were so negative and so defensive in that European Cup final.
In particular because of the way they'd got to the final, playing some exciting football. Well, let's see if there's scope for further exciting football now.
We've had the 45 minutes of normal time. And that's a useful ball too. And another fine save from Schmeichel. And again, Panchev found room. And again, his first touch wasn't good enough. And Schmeichel made the save. And again, Savicevic, the provider. And Panchev probably realising that it's not going to be his day. Schmeichel covering well there. Yes, good goalkeeping to narrow the angle. But certainly Red Star are finishing the half the stronger. And I would think United will be relieved now to hear that half-time whistle. And get in for the cup of tea and some instructions from Alec Ferguson. Because there's no doubt they're being run ragged at the moment. Especially when they give the ball away like that. Savicevic, superb skill. Just a bit too intricate there. Radunovic has the overlap though. Panchev's header! And it wasn't more than a foot wide. And yet again, this man is left in space. Could have had a hat-trick now as that cross comes in. And really should have got that one on target. I think he'll be disappointed with that. But Manchester United fans won't. Well, there'll be a few inquests, I would think, at half-time between Bruce Pallister and company. Why it is they have left that man in acres of space on several occasions. They've got away with it so far. Now, can they come back with something? Mark Hughes. Clayton Blackmore's wide. That's towards Webb. It's come out to Lee Sharp. Ince. That's a better try. Well, his previous effort just a few moments ago, high over the top, but that one just a couple of feet and shaping himself up nicely. He clearly fancies his chance of getting a goal this evening, and he came a little bit closer then. We've had a couple of minutes of injury time. There have been a few stoppages, in fact. It's interesting that Panchev being the... as the half-time whistle goes, sorry to interrupt you, Mark, but Mr. Van der Elst has blown for half-time. And a match which United started so well, really unlucky, or they're lucky, to be level at the end of it, really. Yes, the difference. Panchev getting plenty of room. He's the star player for Red Star. Hughes, the famous European for United, being closed down well by Nadolski, but clearly the best chance, Steve Bruce. 3 chances for Panchev, but it's still 0-0. Yes, the penalty save from Steve Bruce means the half-time score at Old Trafford It's Manchester United 0, Red Star Belgrade 0. At half-time, as the players make their way back onto the pitch for this second half, and with the end-to-end stuff we've seen, Mark, and the chances we've seen at both ends, surely we must get a score in the next 45 minutes.
Well, there's no doubt that Steve Bruce could have made it 1-0 from the penalty spot, and then 3 chances for Panchev and a host of shooting opportunities for United. But the worrying thing for United, just close to half-time, the way Savicevic and Jukovic managed to find their final man, Panchev. And that'll be of concern to Alex Ferguson, and he'll be hoping in the second half to put that one right. A reminder, you're watching this match live on Sportscast as we await the start of the second half, with Manchester United and Red Star Belgrade locked at 0-0.
So it's going to be Red Star playing from left to right, as we see it. Number 10 over the ball is Savicevic, and Darko Panchev, the number 9, who has been a constant threat to United in the game thus far. Just a reminder, if we are still level after 90 minutes, we will have extra time, and then we'll have all the fun of a penalty shootout. So to take you through the early moments of the second half, here's Mark Rooney.
Well, 45 minutes for Manchester United to get a hold of the trophy that AC Milan won in 1990. United aiming to be the 4th English club, Liverpool getting it in 1977. 2 years later, Nottingham Forest getting that, and Aston Villa beating the Spanish giants Barcelona in 1982. Jukovic. Panchev lets it go. Martin to Mikhailovic there. The tackle comes in and appeals for a penalty, but it's a corner.
Yeah, that was a good decision. It was a good solid tackle, and I think the Red Star man made a meal of it.
Well, Martin not able to get to the ball. Pallister coming across, and Mikhailovic making the most of that, but that was a corner. Didn't see too much of Mikhailovic in the first half. Here he is now. Finds Savicevic. No luck, and Hughes will bring the ball away for United. Webb to McClure. Vasiljevic getting the ball there away for the throw-in. Webb to McClure once again. Finds Hughes. Bad ball that to Ince. And now let's see what Jukovic can do as he comes forward. He's got Mikhailovic to his left. Goes forward now. Chance. Across comes Bruce. And just there as Radinovic was coming to pounce.
And great work again there, though, Mark, from Savicevic. And that was very close to Radinovic's head as well.
Shaping himself there, but away for a corner. Peter Schmeichel making sure his defence is ready. Ince and Irwin on the post for United as Mikhailovic, left-footed, in-swinging corner. Only as far as Savicevic. Stusic. Mihailovic looking for the return pass, but Irwin gets there first. Dennis Irwin, a Republic of Ireland international. Second full season for Manchester United. Radinovic with the throw. Savicevic, still Savicevic. A handful for United in the first half. Ince to Irwin. Ince once again. to Irwin, to Bruce. Missed a penalty in the second minute if you've just come in, you're local. Still goalless here as we start the second half. This is Irwin trying to shape for the shot. Timely tackle in though. Paul Ince. Webb takes the ball. Kanchelskis. Back to Webb. Martin. Comes to Hughes. Now chance for Hughes. Bundled away though. 3 defenders in front of him. And eventually it's Jugovic gets Red Star moving once again. And eventually the pressure stops, but some tight defending once again from Red Star, Trevor.
I think actually some of the United players were appealing for a penalty there, as it may or may not have struck a Red Star hand, but the referee waved play on, and now Red Star coming forward again.
Savicevic looking for Jugovic. Goes on the far side to Mihailovic. Savicevic still on the ball, certainly keeping possession as much as he can. Mihailovic now trying to get the cross in, it comes in, but Peter Schmeichel first to it, and really that ball, Trevor, nowhere near Panchev, and Panchev must be ruining some of the chances he missed in the first half.
Yes, I would imagine Alec Ferguson has had stern words with Bruce and with Pallister during the interval, and I would imagine that Panchev will find he has far less room in the second half. Let's hope so anyway. There wasn't an elbow in the face there.
Yes, and Hughes, the man injured. 5 minutes of this second half gone, as Nadowski, who did such a good marking job on Hughes in the first half, the man there that caused the injury to Hughes. But 5 minutes gone in the second half, still goalless, and a reminder, as Trevor was saying earlier on, that if this game finishes level at 90 minutes, we've a further half an hour of extra time, and if it's then not decided, it goes to penalties. Jimmy McGregor, the Manchester United physiotherapist, on, and Nadowski looking a bit concerned there for Hughes, pats him on the back. Free kick to Red Star. Tanga. The long pass from Stosic. Vasiljevic. Jugovic. Panchev getting in the way. Jugovic to Savicevic. Ball meant for Jugovic, but too far.
Just a little bit too intricate for his own good there, Savicevic. But every time he runs at that United defence, they start backpedaling and they start to panic. And you really do feel if he can find the right ball for Panchev, it'll be all up for United.
Paul Hintz for United. To Dennis Irwin. Back to Ince. United still having to look carefully as the ball goes to Webb there for where they can find their man. Kanchelskis. To Lee Martin. Pallister. But again, closed down, but Webb intercepts. Now Webb. He's got Martin to his right. Back to Hughes. It's on the far side, looking for Blackmore. To Dennis Irwin. In goes the cross. Good ball from Bruce to Webb. Still Webb. Looking for Blackmore, but Mihailovic brings the ball away. Neat little chip finds Stosis. Mihailovic again. I think... Well, Mihailovic goes down and Bruce protests. I think this man actually, Trevor, getting more of the ball early on in this second half, and that's clear instructions because he's a very, very talented player for Red Star.
Thought Steve Bruce was a bit unlucky there. He played the ball, and in fact, in the end, Mihailovic fell over him. But the referee's given the free kick.
Jugovic. Vasiljevic. Pass it in. Stusic almost comes to Panchev, but Paul Ince, a timely interception. Nadowski back to his keeper. Tanga. Stosis. Finds Radinovic, seems to have recovered from the injury that he suffered in the first half. Jugovic now tries to find Panchev on the far side. Pallister gives chase. Still Panchev. Tries to put it inside to Jugovic. But the offside flag goes up. And that, an interesting ball to Panchev on the far side. Panchev showing signs of going wider to his left from time to time, Trevor.
Yes, but much better defending there from United. They closed him down a lot quicker, and they prevented him from getting in a telling cross. And then it was offside, but good work from United. I think they've maybe have learned their lesson. Let's hope so. They've given it away here, though, Mark.
This is Savicevic. Still Savicevic, shaping for the shot! Well, that wasn't far wide.
Super effort, and Savicevic, who showed in the first half he can take players on and beat them, gets the better of Steve Bruce. Left foot shot. Schmeichel groping out, but it's just a couple of feet wide.
Well, 10 minutes have gone in the second half. Still Manchester United 0, Red Star Belgrade 0 in this, the 1991 European Super Cup final. Clayton Blackmore for United. Takes the return pass from Martin. It looks as though Vasiljevic will get there first. Kanchelskis. To Ince. Looking for Hughes, gets through to Hughes too. Shapes for the shot, will he try it? Looks like he will. And a good save from Milojevic.
He did so well to create the space there, Mark, and he just couldn't get the venom in the shot. Ended up bobbling towards the keeper. Lovely close control here. Feints to shoot, then onto the right foot, and just not enough power or direction. Good effort though from Sparky.
And that really the first chance for Hughes in this game. So tightly marked, there was a slip by the Red Star defence there, and he almost exploited it. Pallister for United. Savicevic looks like he gets the better of it. Steve Bruce for United. Webb to Hughes. And good stuff from United at the moment. Mihailovic, the offender. Free kick to United. Hughes once again. Lee Martin. Bruce. Looking for Irwin. And Irwin appealing for obstruction there. The United fans joining him. But Radinovic not penalised. Ince wins the ball back. Still Ince. United getting a lot of the play at the moment. This early part of the second half. Still goalless. Kanchelskis. Lee Martin. A chance now for Savicevic. Takes the return pass from Panchev. And now Savicevic against Bruce. Will he go alone? Tries the shot.
That was excellent defending from Steve Bruce. He pushed his man wide. That's what the coaching books tell you to do. He's come across, he's not made a rash challenge, and he's forced him wide there and made it harder for him to find the net. Good defending.
Interesting too that Panchev that time laying on the final ball, and this man Savicevic, who'd served him so well in the first half, almost getting a goal out of it. A let off for United there. This is McClure. Irwin to Bruce. Pallister. Once again, not exactly spoilt for choice for the final pass, finds McClure. McClure to Blackmore. The final shot really not what he would have wished. Clayton Blackmore, in fact, Trevor, I've noticed on 2 occasions back defending, one where the offside flag went up earlier on and one where he kicked it off the line in the first half. And this man is so versatile for United.
Yes, he's a real everywhere man. He won't look back on that effort with too much pride. But makes a vital contribution in all aspects of the game, Clayton Blackmore.
Webb now trying to get United moving forward. Bruce. McClure. Out wide to Martin. Kanchelsis. Blackmore. Cross from Blackmore. The pressure still on with Dennis Irwin. McClure not quite able to control it, seeking to win it back and gets the better of Stosic. Hughes. Little chip in for Ince, but Milijevic there first, and Paul Ince puts everything into it. He seemed to cover every blade of grass then, Trevor.
Yes, and interesting that he tried to get Panchev away with the quick drop kick as well. And it was only some very aware defending from Gary Pallister that stopped the Yugoslav centre-forward having a free run on goal there.
We're now on the hour mark here at Old Trafford in this European Super Cup final. Manchester United 0, Red Star Belgrade 0. Steve Bruce missing a second-minute penalty, but action at both ends. Mihailovic for Red Star. Kanchelsis trying to get the tackle, gets the better of him. Inside to Webb, back to Kanchelsis. Well, you could hear the Manchester United fans disappointed with that final cross.
Yeah, they were queuing up at the near post mark, and that ball went 4 or 5 feet over everyone's head. That really is a poor cross, and if you're going to push men into the box, midfield men who make 40, 50 yards, you've got to give them a better service than that.
Savicevic laying the ball on there. And Jugovic, was he fouled? Free kick to Red Star. Savicevic and Jugovic teaming up well. Problems for United. Stosic. Nowhere for him to go at the moment. United defending well. And can come away through McClure to Hughes. Doesn't quite get it, and Nadowski, his marker, getting the ball away to Belgrade. Radinovic. Tanga. Radinovic again. Good control from Red Star at the moment. This is Stosic. Jugovic. Webb enough to put him off. Hughes comes away and impeded. Free kick to United. Jugovic working so well with Savicevic at the moment, but Panchev very quiet early in this second half. Lee Martin. Kanchelskis looking for a good performance for his manager tonight. Lays it on to Ince, but Irwin gathers there first as Stosic comes in. Hughes almost gets away, and a free kick to United. Foul on Mark Hughes. Let's see what United can do here, Trevor.
I think that was foot up, actually. He seemed to get a boot across his chest, and quite rightly, the referee Van der Elst gives the free kick to United as they search for this elusive first goal.
Webb with a free kick, so a chance for United to try and break the deadlock here. But once again, Radinovic can come away with it and get Red Star moving. Mihailovic in room to Panchev. A chance now, Panchev! But he was offside.
But yet again, Mark, you see 2 or 3 quick 15-yard passes and the Manchester United defence absolutely torn in tatters.
Yes, and Panchev, I don't know why he was appealing there, because it was the final shot wasn't so good. He'd have probably rather have told his coach that it was an offside. But he still continues to protest his innocence. And Paul Ince continues to try and get United to break this deadlock. Still goalless. And you do get the impression now that despite all the action that we've had, Trevor, that this could be settled by one goal.
Yes, it's hard to criticise Pallister or Bruce too much on that occasion. Not much you can do when...
Pallister with the free kick, away by Tanga, only as far as Webb. Bruce fires it in. Hughes can't control it. Mikhailovic. Jugovic. Savicevic. Jugovic calling for it back, gets it back, but Pallister is there first. And the United fans trying to get behind their players at the moment, applauding Pallister for good defending. And Kanchelskis sensing that the United fans, as all the players, really want their side to win and get a goal at the moment. But Kanchelskis, perhaps a little bit too excited, doesn't quite get it. Not the best of games for him at the moment, Trevor.
No, what I was going to say before actually, Mark, was it's hard to criticise Pallister and Bruce when there are quick, speedy forwards knocking 10-yard balls on the run at you. It really is very hard to defend against that. Neither defender really renowned for their mobility. They're both good English traditional centre-halves, and they are going to struggle. They're going to need the full-back support behind them, I think, if the Yugoslavs are to be stopped from going through the middle like that.
Savicevic with Webb. And I think Webb wins that encounter as Ince sets McClare away. Hughes. To Webb. Savicevic to Jugovic. Back to Ince. And as Trevor was saying, United have closed that line down for the time being as Ince goes forward. Radinovic. Poor pass there, Tanga can't get there, and a throw to United, and the United fans really try to get behind their side at the moment. This is Webb to McClare. To get the high ball in, McClare fires it in. Still bouncing loose, but eventually the Red Star defence can clear, but only as far as Pallister. Blackmore to Webb, inside to Kanchelskis, to Webb again. Is there a shooting chance now? Well, there was a shooting chance, but Lee Martin didn't take it. Well, we're coming to midway point in this second half. Manchester United 0, Red Star 0. You're watching this game live on Sportscast, the European Super Cup final. Steve Bruce missing a penalty after just 2 minutes. Chances at both ends. For commentary up to the end of the 90 minutes, Trevor Harris.
So can United find that vital spark? Just one goal, it seems like would be enough. And they have another free kick. They've had a few in the last few minutes outside that Red Star area. Pallister's going forward. Bruce is going forward. Now can they find the quality cross? It's Dennis Irwin. It was too high for Mark Hughes. Chance for Webb though. Right foot. Hit the post. McClare, it's in. Brian McClare scores for United. It was on the cards once the ball was floated high into that Red Star box. And United, who missed a golden opportunity to take the lead after 2 minutes, have done the damage with 20 minutes left.
Once again, it was Webb shooting, and a fairly simple tap in there from McClare.
The ball was too high for Hughes initially. It came down to Webb. He won it, in fact. He did well. Onto the right foot. The shot looked in, back off the upright. Brian McClare doesn't miss those. So United have a precious lead. And now Red Star will have to come at them. Just about 21 or 22 minutes to go in this game. 21 minutes for Red Star Belgrade to get an equaliser. They've threatened it, so I don't think United will be counting their chickens just yet. Panchev's missed several chances for the Yugoslavs, and United will have to be on the back foot a bit now, I fancy. Webb's won that again. That's tremendous battling from Mark Hughes, and Webb's ball again has put Kanchelskis free down the right, but he just overran it.
I think, Trevor, this will open up the game, and we are going to see quite a cracking remainder of this match now.
A second goal will almost certainly cure Red Star off, you feel. And Webb is everywhere at the moment. It's a useful cross too. Just Panchev up at the moment for the Yugoslavs. He's frantically trying to stay on side. This is Radinovic. Savicevic. That's a useful ball. And a brave header it was from Lee Martin, as the feet came in very high from the Yugoslav, and United win a free kick. Alec Ferguson may well think about a substitution fairly shortly. Other than Gary Walsh, the reserve keeper, he has Mel Donaghy, a versatile defender, Russell Beardsmore, and two strikers, Mark Robbins and Ryan Giggs. And as I say that, we see Ryan Giggs warming up there.
It'll be interesting to see who comes off. It could well be Kanchelskis. I mentioned that Ryan Giggs actually played against Atletico Madrid and was a bit disappointing, so perhaps Alex Ferguson thinks, well, let's hope we can win this one, but let's make sure that Ryan Giggs gets an opportunity for some further European experience.
Here's Panchev on the chase for Red Star, and wins a free kick. Paulins, his feet were high, says referee Van der Elst. And we're going to get a substitution in a moment, and it looks like Lee Martin will be the man to come off, but we'll have the free kick first. 4 in the United wall, and Schmeichel at his near post. United, in fact, have pulled everyone back, all 11 players inside their penalty area, and in fact they are making the substitution now, and Ryan Giggs, the 17-year-old wonder boy, comes on, and it's Lee Martin who goes off.
Well, it's certainly going to be spectacular, because this player, as you can probably hear, gets the acclaim from the United fans. Such an exciting player, already a Welsh international, and let's see what he can do.
I think there's been an infringement in there, some pushing and shoving, even as the ball came in, and United will be able to clear the danger. Little buzz of expectancy every time that Ryan Giggs gets onto the pitch here at Old Trafford. They really have warmed to the teenager here, and he'll want an early touch and some involvement in this game as soon as possible. United then with a 1-goal lead, less than 20 minutes to go, and the European Super Cup is there for the taking if they hold their nerve. Brian McClare, who's done a lot of running tonight. Hughes got no joy at all out of Belgrade, and Ince will start things again for United. Now here's Ryan Giggs. Oh, it's a lovely willingness to attack he's got. It's not a bad cross either. He really shows maturity beyond his years, Ryan Giggs. As United win a free kick, he'd only been on the pitch for a minute, and he was straight away taking on his man, and that's what's really endeared him to this crowd.
Yes, and fascinating now, because with Giggs on the left and Kanchelskis on the right-hand side, it could be that Red Star are really stretched, and we may well see plenty of heading opportunities as this game goes on.
So a United free kick, Webb's over it, so's Blackmore, and it was Blackmore's shot, and a good try too. Punched away by Milajevic, and a Red Star breathe again. But United coming back now with Kanchelskis. They're camped in that Yugoslav box. McClare sliding in, but eventually Red Star can clear. There's an overlap here. This is Radinovic, but the pass was overhit. Giggs. That's an excellent ball. Gets Dennis Irwin in with room to cross here. But there was no one at the far post. Disappointing that, Mark.
Yes, and it's clearly that since Giggs has come on, given that Red Star now can't rely on defending and looking for good breaks through Savicevic and Jugovic, it really means that the game is wide open and, you know, perhaps it more suits United's type of game at the moment.
That ball's aimed for Jugovic. He's only got Panchev in the area at the moment. Radinovic again. Now Panchev, but there was a misunderstanding there, and Mark Hughes will claim this for United. But United content to slow things down. They are the ones with the 1-0 lead as the fans try to rise them again. And that's a good sliding tackle from Mihailovic as Kanchelskis made tracks for the dead ball line. Blackmore. Rather optimistic appeal for handball from the Stretford end. Panchev is having a real battle with this United backline, trying to stay onside. He's managed it as Red Star hold play up. This is Taniga, the number 4. Well, Radinovic is almost playing as a right winger since United scored. Just a bit too far for Giggs. This is Jugovic, who's had a fine game this evening and went for the return. And now United can break. McClare plays it wide. And Kanchelskis again shows an inability to beat his fullback.
It's certainly, though, going to help the midfield at the moment because they've either got the right wing or the left wing that they can put this through, and they know that Red Star will be under pressure as they try and go forward. The other interesting thing, a few moments ago I noticed Panchev, who's having a great difficulty at the moment actually getting the ball, trying to lay the ball on. Those through balls that we saw towards the end of the first half, they seem to have almost disappeared.
Yeah, they're pushing up a lot more now, the United back line, and they're shutting down the space, and they're preventing the likes of Savicevic and Jugovic from giving Darko Panchev the kind of service he enjoyed in the first period. We have 13 minutes just over to go in this European Super Cup. Manchester United 1, Red Star Belgrade 0. The goal from Brian McClare just a few minutes ago. Can United hold on and take the first European trophy of the season? Some compensation for their early departure from the Cup Winners' Cup, which of course they won last year with that memorable win over Barcelona.
Alex Ferguson, of course, has already won the Super Cup. He won it for Aberdeen in 1983, but he'll be looking to taste the glory of some silverware here at Old Trafford so early on this season. And it's looking at the moment very good for the Reds.
This is Taniga. Savicevic on the run again. And he's an awkward customer in possession. And that's a super ball if Radinovic can reach it, and he can. They're queuing up in the middle if he can find the right cross, but that's too long. Two number 7s there, and Kanchelskis wins. Well, they're trying to get Giggs in at every opportunity, United, and it's noticeable that he's sticking to that touchline. He's not being sucked in by the fullback, and the first decent delivery he gets from midfield, he'll really be in business. Now here he is now, running straight at that Red Star defence. He's got Webb outside him. Well, he didn't need him. Couple of yards wide. Great effort.
Well, you can see there why the United fans like Giggs so much. Beat a man so simply there, confidently, teed himself up for the shot. And what a goal that would have been after just coming on.
Just 17 years of age, Ryan Giggs. In fact, I was reading that he was offered a £250,000 sponsorship deal for some football boots, and Alec Ferguson said no, because he didn't want him going to his head. Goalkeeper's lost that. He really is a good player, Savicevic. Still in possession. Needs support now. Let's hit long towards Panchev, and the knockdown didn't quite fall for Mihailovic.
Savicevic really is a tremendous player and was tying up well with this man Panchev early on, but that seems to have disappeared now. But Savicevic never seems to lose possession. He doesn't seem to give the ball easily, and to have a player of his calibre in your side that does that, then it really must make a difference. He looks sharp. If there's going to be a danger, it looks like it's going to come from that man.
Yes, he's run United ragged at times tonight, but so far his forwards haven't been able to capitalise on his industry. And here's Brian McClair for United, and Mark Hughes is offside. He doesn't like it. He says the left back played him on, but the referee says otherwise as we enter the last 10 minutes of this Super Cup. United with that 1-0 lead, courtesy of Brian McClair's goal after 68 minutes. Here he is again. Well, he had Kanchelskis wide, but opted for the easy ball instead, and Mark Hughes is offside again. That was a bit slack actually from Sparky Mark. He just wasn't looking, I think, and he raced back but too late.
Probably still cross with the last referee's decision.
Our centre forward's lot is not a happy one. Savicevic. Mihailovic. Their close control really is impressive, the Yugoslavs. And it looked to me there as if Savicevic did a muscle. But here's Ryan Giggs for United. He can finish it here. And that was a very tame effort after such a wonderful run.
Well, not the best shot, but clearly if you've been running hard for 70-odd minutes, the last thing you want is a substitute like Ryan Giggs running you ragged, and Radinovic having difficulty at the moment.
Well, United coming forward in droves. Here's Brian McClair, and he's got Kanchelskis wide. That'll be a corner. Yeah, it seemed Giggs did the hard work by beating his man, came to the keeper, and just lost his nerve completely by the look of it. Hallister is up from the back, Bruce just behind him, Giggs at the edge of the box, and we have a substitution for the Yugoslavs. Number 14, Ivic, comes on, and number 10, Savicevic, goes off.
I think he pulled up at that incident there just a few moments ago. I think Savicevic was injured, and that's problems now for Red Star.
Yeah, it looked like a muscle or a hamstring or something, and the Yugoslav bench taking no chances. But United have a corner. Well, that wasn't in the textbook, but they've got away with it. This is Giggs. Oh, a wonderful play again from Ryan Giggs. Just teasing his fullback, whipping in that little low cross to the near post, and just enough cover that time for Red Star. Goal kick, says the referee.
The solid defender Nadowski now has got the captain's armband as Mihailovic tries to get his players forward, but Nadowski did such a good job and has done a very good job on Mark Hughes. What a solid player he is, and the sort of player that is often an unsung hero, Nadolski, but he's kept Mark Hughes fairly quiet tonight.
Stosic will chase this, but Blackmore gets there first, and anywhere will do now for United, just 6.5 minutes away from winning this European Super Cup. And Red Star have been very quiet up front for the past few minutes. They've won a free kick on the halfway line here. The substitute Ivic, the man fouled.
The Manchester United crowds have once again played their part in what looks like a victory. The crowd of over 22,110 that is, and they've certainly made themselves heard tonight and lifted their players as they always do in this superb arena here in Old Trafford.
Mark Hughes winning the free kick, and United will be in no hurry to take this. Taniga, the man doing the fouling. Neil Webb. This is Kanchelskis. And yet again, it's that man Nadolski coming across to cover. I think actually the ball was kicked out of the stadium. They went through one of the exits in the stand. It's come back now, much to the amusement of the Old Trafford faithful. Time is not on Red Star's side. Less than 5 minutes to go as Neil Webb takes it short to Hughes. And Webb can cross now. That's towards Giggs. And that's the goalkeepers. Well, just Darko Panchev up. And I think they've got to really throw a few more players forward. Mark, that's a bit short, is it? A bit short for Peter Schmeichel's liking, I think.
Savicevic going off, I think, has effectively deadened the game. Now, Panchev looks nowhere, and so too does Jugovic, really. It's just struggling, and it looks like, after looking so good towards the tail end of the first half in particular, Red Star, with their fire, seems to have gone out.
Mark Hughes did well to stay on his feet there, and he sets up Webb, and that was just a little bit too delicate from the England international. Tried to place it inside the goalkeeper's left-hand post, and I think power was a better option. Still 1-0 then. Radinovic. They've pushed a few more players forward now, Red Star. That's aimed towards the substitute Ivic, but Steve Bruce will cut it out. And that won't worry Peter Schmeichel, although the referee, I think, has given the free kick to Red Star Belgrade. Paul Ince, I think, again the man penalised, or has he given the corner? I think in fact he's given the corner. The shot was deflected, so United with still some defending to do. Mihailovic will curl this in from the near side. And that's a good head out. Steve Bruce it was, and again, as United stream out, but Red Star not offside. Well, that was a fairly blatant handball. This is Neil Webb. Showed too much of it though. Ivic. But he's really running sideways. Well, that was aimed towards Darko Panchev, but he didn't get within 5 yards of him in the end. And they seem now, Mark, the Yugoslav side, to have virtually given up the ghost.
Yes, and this man who won the Cup with Aberdeen in 1983, looking just a couple of minutes away from getting it with Manchester United, and that'll delight him. it's really been the story of the game has been a early chance for United with a penalty which Steve Bruce had sailed. Red Star coming back just before half-time with three very good chances for Panchev. They didn't take them. The United defence closed up. And really, in the second half, United have gone forward, got plenty of possession, and deserve their one-goal lead at the moment.
Here's some room for Ivic, though. Could be room for the shot here. Panchev. And just over the top. It was Jugovic again, who likes to hover around the edge of that United box. It was Ivic and Panchev involved. The layoff from Panchev and the shot, first time, whistling over Peter Schmeichel's crossbar. We're in the last minute. Possibly the last chance for Red Star. That's well claimed. He's been in commanding form tonight, Peter Schmeichel. Some doubt, in fact, if he would play. But FIFA ruling that the four foreigners rule doesn't apply in this game. So Schmeichel's all right, and United are okay, leading by a 1-0 against Red Star Belgrade, with 30 seconds of normal time left. And they'll just be content to keep possession now, I think. Neil Webb going forward. Well, they've given Red Star a throw. Jugovic. Stosic. He didn't see Ryan Giggs coming, and Giggs showing he's useful in defence as well. Mark Hughes. Good control on the chest. Kanchelskis. Now, can United finish in style? Chance for the cross here. And very nearly a second. Mark Hughes with the snapshot. Miljovic doing well at his near post.
And a rare occasion when Hughes gets away from his marker, but he snapped that one so well. Good save.
There aren't many better volleyers in world football than Mark Hughes. As we enter injury time, referee Van der Elst. Perhaps time for one final fling from Red Star. But they've shown too much of it to Giggs. He's got Hughes inside. Two men to beat. And he's trying to go himself. And I think that was probably the wrong decision. But he has won United a corner. Dying seconds now of this European Super Cup, and surely the silverware is coming to Old Trafford. Neil Webb will bend this corner in. Well, that's fairly harmless.
Had a good game though, Neil Webb. He's been involved in everything. He was involved in the goal, he's been involved in a lot of the build-up, and I would go so far as to name him the man of the match here.
Yes, a toss-up between him and Saverjevic as the referee blows the full-time whistle at Old Trafford. A lone goal from Brian McClare in the second half enough. United 1, Red Star 0. Join us for the presentation. Steve Bruce lifts the European Super Cup, and United, after all, get some European silverware in 1991.
Another tremendous night for European football here at Old Trafford. Delight on the face of Steve Bruce. He must have thought that having his penalty save was the worst thing that could have happened after just 2 minutes. But nevertheless, he gets to lift the cup, and you can see the substitutes there, Gary Walsh and Mark Robbins, delighted as the rest collect their medals. And it really has been a good night. Good atmosphere, and Manchester United the worthy winners.
Yes, you'd probably say that Red Star might have just shaded that first half with Panchev missing a few chances, but in the second they really didn't show quite as well, and United had more of the ball and made it pay in the 68th minute with that Brian McClare goal after Neil Webb had hit the post. As we watch Red Star go up to collect their runners-up medals, led by Savicevic, who had to come off in the later stages. That's Radinovic, who had an excellent game. And all in all, they've certainly done plenty of credit to Yugoslavian football, despite the problems in that country. So, as Red Star get their runners-up medals, Manchester United have their winners' medals. They pose for the photographers. They've beaten Red Star Belgrade by 1-0 here at Old Trafford. From Mark and from me, hope you've enjoyed it. I was going to say good night, but I understand that we can stay with you a little longer. Come back to us in a couple of minutes. So United players celebrate. Gary Pallister and Ryan Giggs to sub there, Mark. And a terrific team effort from all of them tonight.
Yes, they've put body and soul in tonight from the very start when they got a penalty after just 2 minutes. In the early stages of that first half, it really looked as though United were going to tear Red Star apart. They looked exciting. But towards the end of the first half, Red Star getting wise. They closed United down at the back. Panchev got a few chances. But United remedied that at half-time, and early in the second half, United took control and thoroughly deserved that goal.
As the cup goes to the Stretford end here at Old Trafford, and United certainly showing enough evidence tonight that they may well be in that championship chase come the end of the season. Second at the moment, Mark, but there are really 5 or 6 clubs who could win it.
Well, it won't take long before they concentrate their efforts on West Ham United at home on Saturday. They had a tough game last Saturday, and clearly there is the feeling that this is Manchester United's year. You look at some of the players there that they've got, class players, like the man with the trophy there, Steve Bruce. You look at them and they look so difficult to beat. They've set the early running, and they're not going to let this grasp out of their hands. And it clearly, that's what the Manchester United fans want. They want the European trophies, but they want the League Championship more than anything else, and there's a feeling that it's going to be their year.
Steve Bruce, the stand-in skipper. Brian Robson, of course, suspended from tonight's match, so Steve Bruce a rare chance to go and collect some silverware. A towering performance in the heart of that United defence as well, despite missing that second-minute penalty. But certainly the crowd were treated to some excellent continental play from Red Star, particularly Panchev, Savicevic, and the number 8, Jugovic, the real playmaker there. But as we watch Steve Bruce being interviewed, it's not very big, the Super Cup, is it, Mark? You'd think it ought to be a lot bigger than that, being called the Super Cup.
But it's funny, the Manchester United, the European Cup one is massive, but I'm sure they're glad to have got that on their sideboard.
So, as we watch Steve Bruce clutch the European Super Cup, confirming to you that Manchester United have beaten Red Star Belgrade by a 1-0. The goal from Brian McClare. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. From Mark and from me, a very good night.